So, on this very special Sunday service reading day, right, as I mentioned earlier, it is our Guru's Guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar's Mahasamadhi Day, our Guru's Guru. Right? On this day, he left his body. It was his Mahasamadhi. And so we commemorate that today. Let's not forget that. Today, our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda is talking to us about healing by God's unlimited power. You see, brothers and sisters, there are three kinds of sickness. We mostly know about physical and mental sickness. We've all heard of that. But there's a third that we may not have heard of, and we call that spiritual sickness. Right? Physical sickness is due to different forms of toxic conditions, infectious diseases, and accidents. Mental sickness is caused by fear, worry, anger, right? And similar emotional inharmonies, right? Now, soul sickness, that is due to people's ignorance of their true relationship with their source, with God, our Creator. Ignorance is the supreme disease. And when one banishes ignorance, wow, then they have also banished the causes of all physical, mental, and spiritual diseases. Trying to overcome various kinds of suffering by the limited powers of material curative methods is often disappointing. Only in the unlimited power of spiritual methods may we find a permanent cure of physical, mental, and soul disease. That boundless power of healing is, can really be sought only in God, our source, our creator, the source of healing. Brothers and sisters, if you have lost your health, you can be healed through God's power. If you have suffered mentally by the loss of loved ones, you can find them again in God, the source, right? All things are possible with the help of the great and wondrous Creator. Doctors try to learn the causes of disease and to remove those causes, right? So that the illness does not reoccur. This makes sense, yes. That's what doctors are supposed to be doing in the world, isn't it? Right? So, uh, in using many definite material methods of cure, doctors are often very skillful. However, not every disease responds to medicine and surgery, and therein lies their essential limitations. Chemicals and medicines affect only the outer physical composition of the bodily cells and do not alter the inner atomic structure of that life principle that is in the cells. In many cases, no cure of disease is possible until the healing power of God has corrected from within that imbalance of what our guru calls lifetrons. What are lifetrons? Well, lifetrons are prana. right? We've heard of pranayama, life force control. Well, prana is that life force. Prana is the subtle life force, which is finer than atomic energies, right? In other words, this life energy is the finest way to heal the body. When the atomic balance of the physical cells is restored by the divine power, then the healing is perfect, which is what we all want, isn't it? Perfect healing. You know, brothers and sisters, few people die of old age, true old age. Injuries and disease are more often the cause of death, right? Than is this idea of just dying of old age. So many people die before true old age has actually set in. In some cases, and they are exceptional, all parts of the body grow weak at once. Such people die without pain, like ripe fruit that falls in due time from the tree of life. But the majority are plucked from the tree of life before they are really ripe for death. In most cases of death, one body part ceases functioning before the rest. Or it may happen that if one part is stronger or more developed than another, well, the resulting imbalance of the life force in the body may cause suffering or even death. For example, if one's heart is weak and their body, right, is very muscular and strong, well, they may injure their heart by overuse of this muscular strength of the body. The great Shandao, the strong man, he died at the young age of 58. He died of a burst blood vessel in his brain that resulted, well, from his having raised a car single-handedly. Demonstration of great power. Over-exercise that leads to an unbalanced development, thus may have unwelcomed and harmful effects. Here at our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship, our Guru has taught us to learn and practice a pranayama exercise routine. Our Guru called it, he called it energization exercises. And these exercises provide for a uniform development of the body with the least strain on the heart. Right? Simple outdoor exercise such as walking, proper eating, and quiet meditation are all conducive to health. Right? And you know, brothers and sisters, God works through laws, through cosmic laws. And a master may ignore without bad effects the proper dietary or other rules of health. But us ordinary persons, right, we have to be careful and maintain our physical well-being by right observance of the laws of nature. Right? Our diet should be wisely chosen. Well, our body requires for health certain amounts of carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Very little carbohydrates are necessary. Right? Some doctors nowadays diet. They don't say that bread is the stuff of life. In fact, too much bread in the diet can cause an overaccumulation of mucus in the body. Now, a certain amount of mucus is necessary, of course, well, to prevent the entry of harmful microbes into the mucous membrane. Right? But one should eat abundantly of foods that contain a high proportion of mineral salts, like fruits and vegetables. This kind of diet will prevent constipation, right? Which, when present, gives one this predisposition to many diseases. We don't want that. Nature tries by reflex action to remove causes of physical distress. When dust gets in our eyes, right, we involuntarily try to wink the dust away. When dirt or dust enters the nose, we sneeze. If a foreign substance gets into the respiratory passage, well, we cough it out. If we eat something unwholesome, we get rid of it through the process of regurgitation. And when disease attacks any internal organ of the body, well, nature provides many means by which that organ may protect, defend, and rejuvenate itself. However, owing to various habits of living that kind of alienate most people from nature and their natural innate powers that all of us have within us of recuperation and rejuvenation, well, they become impaired, right? And then they could possibly even be permanently lost. Harmful microbes are ceaselessly attacking the body, and good ones are ceaselessly defending it, aided sometimes by diet or herbs or medicines or something like this. An unlimited source of protection lies within our strong thought that as a child of God, we cannot be affected by disease. That's the best way. Brothers and sisters, there are many things that we can talk about this subject of healing. We can talk for days. But we only have an hour here this morning for our Sunday service reading. So the main idea here is that we should depend more on mind power, which is unlimited. Learn how to do that, right? Rules for guarding against disease should be self-control, exercise, proper eating, plenty of fresh fruit juices, and occasional fasting, and also smiling all the time. That deep smile from within, right? And those smiles come from meditation. And then you will find that unlimited power of God. When we are in ecstasy with our source, with God, right? Then we consciously bring God's healing presence into our body. That almighty, all-powerful healing. Mind power carries with it the unlimited energy of God. That is the power that we want in our body, isn't it? And you know, there is a way to bring that power into our bodies. Our Guru shows us the way. The way is communion with God through meditation. Not just any meditation, Kriya Yoga meditation, where we actually still the mind and body and focus all of our attention only on God, our creator, our source. When our communion with God is perfect, well, automatically the healing is instantaneous and permanent. When the causative power of God comes, well, then the healing effect is instantaneous. No time is required for cause to ripen into effect. Many people in distress try to evoke that instantaneous almighty healing power. But when they're not healed at once, they tend to lose faith in God instead of continuing to try to enlist God's help. Right? Well, the people who cling to God, right, they are naturally bound to be healed because God knows when we're praying, right? God knows. And God cannot refuse to respond to us when we really call to God from our hearts. But when we just give up, well, then the great and wondrous Creator says, all right, I see that you can do without me. God says, I shall wait for you. God is so patient. Thank you, God. So understanding is our Creator. Brothers and sisters, the unlimited divine power may be evoked by continuous faith combined with unceasing prayer. And we would be wise to eat rightly and do whatever else is necessary for this body, right? But at the same time, continuously praying to God, saying, Lord, oh my great and wondrous Creator, God, you can heal me. Well, because you control the life atoms and subtle conditions of the body that doctors cannot reach with medicines. Right? We have to remind ourselves of this. The external factors of medicine and fasting, well, and all these, right, they have a certain beneficial effect on the physical body and mind, but they do not reach and affect the inner force that sustains the cells of this body and mind. It is only when we go directly to God and directly receive God's healing power, well, that we are able then to direct that life energy into the atoms of this bodily cells and achieve that instantaneous healing. Wouldn't you rather depend more on God? Right? I mean, who would we rather be depending on, right? The people of this world or the creator of this world? And brothers and sisters, the attempt to change one's dependence from physical to spiritual methods should be gradual and definitely guided by a God-realized master like our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda. That sick person who is accustomed to eating beef and who then suddenly stops eating beef and tries to achieve that healing, well, they may become discouraged if success isn't immediately forthcoming. Yes? It takes time to change one's way of thinking and being. We must be lovingly patient with ourselves, to be receptive to the healing power of God. The mind must be trained to believe in that divine power. Unless one really knows God, well, then they are not justified in saying only mind exists, or there's no duality, or that one does not need to obey health laws, or to use any physical aids for healing, right? Until actual realization is attained, mastered, right? One should use their common sense in everything that they do, right? And at the same time, one should never doubt God, right? We should constantly affirm our faith in that divine omnipresent power. Out of that great power, all atomic energy is throbbing, manifesting and sustaining every physical cell of this universe. As moving pictures are sustained by a beam of light coming from the projection booth in movie theaters, so are all of us sustained by that cosmic beam coming from our source, our creator. When you look to and find that beam, oh, then you will behold its unlimited power to rebuild the atoms and electrons and lifetrons in all the cells of this body that may be what we call out of order. And our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda reminds us that, well, that we want to commune with God, the great healer, right? That's the best way to get healing, to get healed. If you want real, lasting, permanent healing. And to help us with that, I'd like to share a little prayer from our Guru's book, Whispers from Eternity. And this week, oh, it's a good one. It is entitled, Lord, the stricken are here at your door. Lord, the orphans and the stricken have heard of your grace. They are here at your door, God. Will you turn them away uncomforted? Those whose hearts are breaking, may your invisible hands wipe away their scalding teardrops. Those that are lost in delusion, to whom shall they turn but to you, Lord? With the dawn of your presence, their dark troubles will take wing. O cosmic creator, lift your veil of divine modesty and show us your beautiful face of loving compassion. Thank you, God. We love you. Beautiful words from our Guru to help us, well, live a happy, healthy, harmonious life. Right? We want to try to remember that doctors can help us very much. And God's power is unlimited, though. And our Guru reminds us to use our common sense. If we need to go to the doctor, please go to the doctor. But at the same time, let's keep faith in God's almighty healing power, God's unfailing healing power.